Hi, my name's Colleen. I'm going to step you through the game that I've made for mobile phones called Making Friends. This game is created for phones that can use Flashlight 2.1 or above. It will work on touchscreen phones or it will work on keypad phones. Okay, the aim of this game is to help students learn English as a second language. When you're learning a foreign language, any foreign language, it's really difficult to pick it up, and especially students from the ESL area, they've got an awful lot to learn quite often in a very short space of time. And the idea of this game is that it can be customised by teachers about the content that they're covering class at the time. So if they were doing plurals, it could just be about plurals, or if they're talking about conversational English when you go to a coffee shop, you could create a whole game around that. Or if you were doing something on research and study skills, you could create part of the game about that. So without any further ado, let me show you more about the game. And sorry, what I meant to mention before is all the game content is actually created outside of Flash through XML files and MP3 and JPEGs. So it means that the teacher doesn't need any knowledge of Flash to be able to create the game. And it's a really great idea for them to use it with their students between lessons. Okay, showing you the login screen. This is where you get to choose what sort of avatar you'd like. And these avatars are customizable. All the information about them is stored in an XML file. But for today, I'm just going to choose Fred. Good old Fred. Now here we have three options. We can either edit the avatar, we can select it, or we can upload the score to an internet leaderboard. But for now, I'm just going to select him. You notice what I should have shown you before as well was that Fred had a score, and his score was 50 because he's actually scored 30 points with Jemima and 20 with Marvin, and we call them friendship points. So he's scored a total of 50 so far, and those scores are persistent. So if we log out and log back in, those scores will still be there. So let's have a chat with Marvin today. We can either choose to chat about a topic or go somewhere and have a conversation that would be appropriate for that place. If I choose chat, this one's got one option, but it can have lots of options, but at the moment it's just got one, to chat about the weather. Or we can choose to go somewhere. We can either go to the beach or to a restaurant. Let's go to a restaurant today. Now, when I hit next, the next thing you'll hear will be someone that still sounds like me, but it's actually part of the game.
Welcome to the restaurant. I am hungry. What would you like to order?
Okay, so this is where the gameplay section occurs. Here's the JPEG that we loaded earlier. Here's the text that I just spoke. Now, if I actually choose this reload button and press it.
Welcome to the restaurant. I am hungry. What would you like to order?
The game's actually been set up that the player can actually listen back to any audio as much or as little as they like. And they can read along. It can help them with their pronunciation.
I would like a pizza, please.
So here the user is presented with three options. If I press number 2.
I would like a coffee, please. Coffee I would like.
So there are your three options. Now, one thing to notice is that Marvin said that he was hungry. I'm hungry. So if you have a look at those three options, the first one was I would like a pizza, please. The second one was like that they'd like a coffee. And the third one is about coffee, but it's not grammatical. So the idea is that the user or the player chooses the most correct response. I'm just going to choose the pizza response to start with.
I would like a pizza, please. A pizza would be great. I am so hungry. What sort would you like?
Now you'll notice there the score went up and that these two gauges went up. The bottom gauge is looking at how well you're going at meeting the non-player character's needs or wants or goals, and the top one is looking at whether you chose a grammatically correct option or not. So now they're asking us what sort of pizza we'd like. If I press next, it'll come up with our first option.
I would like a ham and pineapple pizza, please.
Or
my favourite orange, please. Can we have a meat lover's pizza, please?
Okay, I'm going to choose the middle option.
My favourite orange, please.
Because that's obviously not an appropriate response, but I'll just click next.
Do you not think that is a type of pizza? What sort of pizza would you like?
And you can see that we've actually got our gauges have gone down here. So let's have a look at what our choices are now.
I would like a ham and pineapple pizza, please.
I think that option will do me, so I'll press next.
I'll go place our order.
Okay, so we've actually just reached the end of that conversation tree, and that could go on for as long as you like. It's completely up to the person who makes the content for the game. So if I press next, we can now choose to talk to somebody else, and you'll see that our score with Marvin has gone up to 88 points, which is good. And we could instead choose to talk to Jemima now if we wanted to. She can take you to the zoo or to the restaurant again, but we won't do that. In fact, I might close down the game now, and I'm just going to restart it. And you'll notice that Fred has now got 118 points. So we've actually been able to keep that score there, and I'm going to choose him again, and I'm just going to choose the upload option, and this is where it actually uploads Fred's score to the internet. And it's loading a web browser now, and this will also work on your phone if you've got an internet connection. And you'll see here's our score. Fred's coming second. Another person called Fred scored 186 earlier. But yeah, so it's a bit of a rough, it's not a very pretty looking web page, but you can actually see the concept there. And the idea is that we'll develop this further, and there'll be badges and all sorts of things players can earn. And if you're a teacher, you'll be able to have your own class. And your class can have some friendly competition between each other. So that's basically it for the game. As I said, all of the information in the game is loaded from XML files, JPEGs and MP3s, and the next section of this video will show you through the structure of those files. Now I'd just like to show you a little bit of what goes behind the scenes to make the game work. So the file that we're in at the moment is called npcs.xml. This is where all the data for the non-player characters is stored. So you'll see, to start off with, we've got an ID field. This is just an XML file. Then we've got a section for what the avatar looks like, then his name, and then we've got a whole section on the places that that avatar can go to. So this particular one has got just 2 places, and you could just add more. It could have 50 places if you wanted to. But you'll see it actually loads the JPEG for the icon that's going to show. Here's the place name, and then it's got information about where the data for the conversation is held. So once again, this one's about going to the beach, and the conversation file and so on is listed there. And if we scroll down, there's also a section for chat. So this is where it stores the information very similarly to the places. And then we've got our second NPC there as well. And you'll notice that different NPCs can have, although at the moment they've actually got similar, this one goes to the zoo and that one goes to the beach. So you can actually have whatever you like in each of the for the non-player characters. And now I'm also going to just show you through a conversation tree and see what the XML looks like for that. Okay, so we start with basically each segment of the conversation is an interaction. So that is one segment of the conversation. And this is the first one where it says, "Welcome to the restaurant. I'm hungry. What would you like to order?" And then the next thing tells you where to find the audio file for that. So I had to record each of the audio voices. I'm currently looking at trying to interface it with the text-to-speech engine from the Flyer framework, but at the moment you have to record all the audio. Then you've got all the different choices that the player can choose between, links to the audio files, how those gauges that I showed you are going to be affected by that, and then there's a section on, well, if they choose that option, what ID number does the next interaction have? And that's basically it's how that file is created. I'm currently working on a user interface, a GUI sort of user interface to create these files. At the moment you have to actually edit the XML. So that's basically an overview of the Making Friends game. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I guess that ends the tour. Thank you.